Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and for this video, I want to talk about a topic that I've brought up several different times and actually made one video talking about several different issues dealing with the Black community here in Japan in particular. And I want to say a few things that I've commented on before. Every time that you say anything dealing with the Black community, it's always going to be people that have mixed feelings, mixed opinions on the topic, and of course, Black people like to play blind and dumb, and they'll claim that they can't relate, don't understand, have never experienced something. 2 claps for you. You can lie to yourself all you want to. And I think it's also interesting too that people have selective understanding of Black issues too. Like, for example, if you want to go to a men's space, Black men's space in particular, they'll play dumb and throw fake statistics at you talking about how, good Black men are doing and how they're showing up more now than ever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, literally, if you were to poll the people that are like in your live stream, in your comment section, how many of them know their father, have a relationship with their father? How many of them had a father that actually paid for their stuff growing up, sent them money, gave them gifts, bought them stuff besides the mandatory child support? How many of them have fathers that aren't on back child support, etc.? Okay. It's really hypocritical. I'm not even going to get into that whole thing, but I was like literally just thinking about that the other day after listening to Kevin Samuels. I was like, he did like a whole thing. He was giving a statistic, and again, anybody can make up statistics, not to mention if you give a statistic without giving more background information, then it kind of cancels out the other statistics that you just gave. So for example, the whole Black men, childless, single, whatever, how many of them have a college education? How many of them, I don't know, what I was about to say, haven't been to prison before? How many of them aren't gay? How many of them actually want marriage? If you were to calculate all of these things and also factor in how many of them would actually want to marry a Black woman, you would realize why these statistics are actually BS. Okay. Because I can tell you firsthand, I have a handful of Black friends who have children with women that they've chosen not to marry for various reasons. We ain't finna get into all this. You forget about friends. I got family members that have been in and out of jail. I ain't finna go into all the crap with you. But basically my point is this. People choose to have selective understanding and hearing. Likewise, I find this issue in Japan to be funny too. Anytime that people don't like a statistic or fact about something, etc., they have to give anecdotal experience or advice. So for example, I've talked about this so many times now at this point, but I've made videos talking about the issues with the Asian man, Black woman community and the problems that it has, and how it's really just a bunch of self-hating Black women, mostly women with dark skin, keeping it real with you, saying it how it is, ain't sugarcoating it. They got issues with themselves, which I totally understand. And instead of being real with themselves and addressing those issues, they've developed this I can't even say it. They've decided to start fetishizing. Fuck, I'm forgetting English. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Basically, they've developed a fetish. They've developed a fetish for these men, mainly through watching porn, anime, video games, etc. I don't blame you. I totally understand. In fact, I talked about this before. I remember being a child and going through a phase where I legitimately wanted to be white, or I also really had a really strong attraction towards white men in particular. And as I got older, I realized how silly, ridiculous, and crazy that was, and how stupid I was for thinking these things. But it was very understandable. When you are a minority and you're around the majority, and you're constantly seeing how people are being, compared to people that look like this, naturally you want to be that. Not to mention, forget about all racism crap aside, naturally we want to be whatever is rare. That's what's normally the sign of beauty. For example, having a tan is not a normal thing for a white person. So what happens? Having a tan becomes a sign of beauty. Being blonde is not common for real white people who don't normally have blonde hair. It's a very rare thing. Having blonde hair as a white person, I would argue, is just as rare as being a Black person and having blue eyes. It's a rare thing. Can it happen? Yeah, well, more like having green eyes or hazel eyes. Let's say hazel eyes. Black people do have hazel eyes. They do. But it's not nearly as common as having dark brown eyes or even brown eyes. That's all a whole nother story. But let me get back on subject. The purpose of me saying this is, I know that somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and be like, well, that's not true because I've experienced X, Y, and Z, and I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm saying that this is a really bad analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say, basically. People give their own made-up stories and real stories that deal with themselves, and so, okay, just because you haven't seen something or you haven't done something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So what I want to get at is, I am so tired of Black people trying to force Black people here in Japan, or anywhere you are in the world, but I'm speaking on Japan because I live here, to basically speak to them when they see you. And I see it as no different than catcalling. And I know you guys are like, what? Whoa, slow down, Ren. No, hear me out. It's no different than catcalling. I would not want a man to expect for me to have to say good morning to him just because he says good morning. And there are men that believe that they are entitled to getting that from you. I've argued with people even here on my channel back when I was 21 years old. And I'm sorry, not sorry. I am not obligated to speak to you just because you speak to me as a man. When you look, I'm speaking on this part because see, we can agree with this. Because see, I think I'm crazy for saying what black people shouldn't greet each other when we see another black person. Oh my gosh! So let me say something that y'all can actually agree with me. I almost called y'all hoes because I want to say it, but y'all gonna get y'all feelings hurt. So I'm gonna get to that later. But let me get to this, okay? You don't want to have to talk to a man just because he speaks to you, especially not a man that you don't find attractive. You love the fact that you have the choice to choose whether you're going to speak or not speak. And you also don't like the idea of being seen as rude if you choose not to. Let's keep it real. That man that's saying good morning to you, holding the door open for you at the gas station, he ain't doing it because he's a gentleman. Sorry guys, put my mouth. He's not doing it because he's a gentleman, because he's kind, because he's just a good guy. He's doing it because he likes you. He's doing it because he wants to look at that ass. He's doing it because he wants to make you feel like you owe him, like you're obligated to do more, to share more about yourself. And what happens when you don't do that? You get called all kinds of things outside called out your name. You got people recording you, posting you online, embarrassing you in public, all type of crazy mess, just because you didn't want to respond to a guy that's clearly trying to hit on you. And I'm sorry, let's say he really genuinely was a good guy and just wanted to say good morning, didn't even find you attractive, which, let's be real, 99.99.99999999% of the time, the reason why they're doing it, let's stop fucking playing games. 100% of the time is because they find you attractive, and or if they don't find you attractive, they just want to F you. They're playing around. It's not because they really care about saying good morning to you. So why should I have to speak to you? And let's also be real. Why do I have to talk to strangers? Because don't get me wrong. Is it polite to do? Sure. So if you can tell with 100% certainty that someone's speaking to you out of the kindness and goodness of their heart, fine. I can agree with you on that. But let's be real. In situations like this, this is not the reason why the person is talking to you. Likewise, let's be real with ourselves. What are you getting out of a fellow black person acknowledging your existence? Right, it's all stuff because you have mental issues, you have a problem, you feel anxious, you feel insecure. And I've been there, done that, but I'm also going to keep it real with you. That's a me problem, not a them problem. I can't call another black person rude or get my feelings hurt because a total stranger doesn't want to say hi to me. You need to get put on medication and you need some help, sweetheart. I'm sorry. What world do you live in? If you want black people to acknowledge and greet you when you see them, go back home to your home country, go to a cookout, go over your mama house, your grandma, somebody. Regular strangers are not required to do that. And I understand that there's also some cultural difference here. I know the people from different countries, for example, from somewhere in Africa, the Caribbean, whatever. I don't give a shit where you're from. Sorry, my curtain. This same rule goes for you all too. Let's get rid of all of these little stupid ass rules. Why are we as black people required to talk to people just because we look alike? That's dumb. And I said this before inside my other video a long time ago, but this got brought up again, so I wanted to talk on it. I don't care where we are in the world. I don't care if you're the only... I understand. You want somebody that looks like you. You want to feel seen. You want to feel like you can relate, whatever. But then that's another problem too. When we are only befriending each other, being nice to each other because we're relating due to struggle, I don't want struggle friends. I don't know about you, but I don't want struggle friends, just like I don't want struggle love. And people had a problem with that too, and I was keeping it real on that as well. Look, I'm open to dating anyone and everyone as long as I find you attractive all the way around. Looks wise, education wise, financially, your family situation, your baggage. But I'm also going to keep it real with you. The majority of black men that do call themselves liking me, chasing after me, wanting to talk to me, what do they not check off? All of them damn boxes that I just said. Now they can chalk it up to being, oh, you don't date black men, you don't. I love black men. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I ain't obsessed over you. I have a brain, I have eyes, I have options. And because of that, I am not going to choose to date down. I'm a married woman, might also add now. But at that time, like, I'm not going to do that just because we're the same race. I'm going to feel obligated that I have to date you, have to acknowledge you, have to give you a chance, whatever. Not to mention being here in Japan, 9 times out of 10 when I see a black man, they're not even from my country. You're not even You're not even an American. So I ain't even finna get into the whole thing with dating and I'm stepping all over everybody's toes. People feelings getting hurt here. But hear me out. And this goes for black men too. You are not obligated to date a black woman, whatever. It goes in reverse. I'm a black woman. I'm straight. I'm speaking on my perspective. You can make a video speaking on your perspective. But I'll beat you to it. Same thing goes for you in reverse. To everything that I'm saying. I do not speak to black people. I do not nod my head at them or anything else like that. If you do it, fine. Depending on the occasion, I might sometimes choose to do it back. But honestly, even if I do it, I hate the idea that I even just did that to you. Because I would never do that to you in the US. I would never do it to a white person who's also an American. It's just unnecessary. It's strange. It's weird. It's awkward. I don't know you. I might not be trying to get to know you. I'm not trying to be your friend. Let's also keep it real, especially as a married person here. 9 times out of 10 when I find myself interacting with other black people when they're not married or when they did not marry somebody at the, keeping it real, the level that my husband is. This is even before when I got married. I'm talking about back even when I was dating my husband, my now husband, even back when I was single, legally single and just had a boyfriend. I cannot tell you the amount of nasty looks, stares, eye rolling, whatever that I got from black women and black men. Just walking around. I remember I went to Shinjuku-gyo and I was dating another doctor. And this guy was older than my, now husband. But he didn't look that much older than me. Anyway, long story short, they were looking me up and down with just stank looks. It was this black couple sitting on the bench in the park. And I'm like, we're in Japan. Why do you look? If you're so bothered with interracial relationships, why come to a foreign country, specifically an Asian country, when you're not white and you're not Asian? You're a black person. If you're that bothered by the thought of seeing a black person with somebody that's Asian, likewise, I actually get irritated when I see black women crying and boo-hooing over the black men here, not one of them, etc. Why do you want somebody that's not attracted to you to pretend like they want you? And this is for a whole other video's topic, but I was just watching a video on YouTube just a moment ago. Really early this morning. It's now afternoon. And I'm not even going to say this chick's name. She's a very beautiful black woman. Don't get me wrong. But she makes videos. She's younger than me, and that's why Gen Z, y'all issues. She makes videos where the topic is interesting to see their perspective, but it's like, do you hear the dumb argument that you're making? She made a whole video basically talking about how black people, you'll know the video after I say it, you can look for it yourself, how they're sabotaging themselves by going to these dating shows. And basically her end result was she wants them to choose people for the show, to cast people that are interested in dating black women so that black women can feel better about themselves, or black people in general, or people of color, because you know how it sounds bad if you just say black, you got to include the Asians and the Mexicans too. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I used to completely agree with you, and as I got older I realized how dumb that was. Why? And then she talked beyond just that. She also spoke on the fact that she wanted, I'll make this will be a separate video, so let me not get too into this, but she also talked about how she wanted them to cast more black people, and like even black people, more so-called ethnic features that have a big nose, big lips, whatever, things like dark skin. I totally get what she's trying to say, but there's 2 issues with this. I'll talk about that inside another video, and I can get into that here. But basically, the reality is the majority of the U.S. and the world is white and Asian, and specifically white when we're dealing with the U.S., talking about Netflix. So of course it's going to be portrayed in the TV shows. But this whole diverse thing is just so stupid to me. I totally understand offering TV shows, giving variety, showing things to people of different races, but to expect everything, especially like reality, come on, it's called reality TV. You want it to portray something that doesn't exist. The reality is, if you go outside of any major city, even with inside of major cities, they're normally heavily segregated. The majority of people that you see are going to be white. So I do not understand why black people try to push so hard for having this 50-50 representation where they want to see dating shows, reality shows, TV shows, or half of the cast is black. I just think it's stupid. And I feel the same way about them remaking Disney movies and things like that. I'm not even gonna get into all that crap for another video. But to quickly give my stance on this, my problem is it's a cheap way that these companies are making money. Force Disney to give us new princesses, new heroes, new storylines, instead of just painting a character black and we throw our dollars at them. It's cheap, it's stupid, and I'm sorry, I gotta side with the white people on this. Yes, ultimately, I disagree with them, the angry racist white people that are so angry and triggered by a damn movie, because let's be real, the Little Mermaid skin color, just like Cinderella, it did not play any role in the story. Now, if we're talking about Snow White, that's a whole other story, and that's exactly why they ain't ever finna make Snow White black, because that will cause some problems. You'd have to rewrite the whole story, because her skin is clearly mentioned. Her skin is white as snow. So, that's kind of why her name is Snow White. That'd be a whole other story. God, this tastes awful with my husband. If you're married to a Japanese person, never say iced coffee. Iced coffee literally means black coffee with ice. You gotta say cafe latte. But anyway, yeah. I get it. But it's like, this is real life. Black women are at the bottom of the dating pool. Most people don't like black women. And it brought me back to my video that I made. Again, I'm jumping ahead of myself. This is for that video. Where I made a video talking about why Asian men don't like black women. And I had so many black women, dark-skinned black women in particular, losing their shit over that video. Calling me biracial, people subbing me in forums, etc., and Facebook groups, saying I'm tired of you making videos on this topic. Okay, but bitches like you are looking for this content. See, you have a problem with it when I tell you you're not favored. But if I made another video titled Why Asian Men Love Black Women, your black ass will be off in my comment section. Yes, bitch, I know. Asian men all up in my ass crack. That's exactly what you all be doing. So you don't have a problem with the video being made. You're mad that you're not favored. And the same thing goes to these dating shows, etc. Then don't join them. These black women willingly signed up. They took the check. They took the publicity. They wanted the followers. They knew it was going to happen. And maybe you're stupid and you didn't know. But anybody that takes 2 seconds to do research, let's face it, keep it real with you. Most people are not attracted to black women. That's harsh. I'm a black woman myself. I'm speaking from personal experience. Most people do not like black women. And now for myself, I can even acknowledge I have a ton of privilege over the average black woman for several different reasons we'll need to go into for this video. But just putting that out there. So it's like, okay, so you want them to paint a fake reality, prop up somebody that you know is going to win, or make it where the chance of them winning is going to be extremely high. This is just stupid. It's no longer reality TV then. And then see you all complain that these TV shows are fake and fixed and they purposefully make the characters look this way or act this way, etc. And now you're asking for them to do it to make you feel good about yourself because you're black and you have dark skin and you want to see a winner like that. Then just make a TV show with all black people dating, or the wannabe black white guys and Asian guys, etc., where they will definitely choose you. I don't understand this. A whole other story. I'm not going to get into that. But back on subject, because I'm getting off track. Basically, long story short, I understand how you feel. I understand not liking being alone. I know it does actually feel good to see a black person every once in a while. I understand your feelings. But it's like, okay, we're not obligated to speak to you. And us choosing not to speak to you doesn't make us rude. Not to mention, I said this already before, you don't know what they're here for, why they're here, who they are, where they're from. Every person that has dark skin is not a black person. I cannot tell you how many times people think that I'm from the Philippines. Oh my God, this is on my channel several times before too. It hasn't happened in a long time, but for years, maybe also because I don't use dating apps anymore, but for years, I kept having white people and some Japanese people telling me that they knew me, they saw me at some bar club the other night, and I was like, you did not. And they were thinking I was just lying to them, pulling the leg, and I was embarrassed. Like, no. First of all, I'm not from the Philippines. Second of all, I don't even go to bars or clubs, whatever. I don't drink like that. That was not me, motherfucker. I have no money. My broke ass was at home. This was years ago. But they were swearing it was me. I've worked with people that are the same complexion as me, but they're Asian. They're from Indonesia. They're from the Philippines. They just have a tan, but they're Japanese. All type of things like this. So, people think I'm half Japanese. I go through this type of crap all the time. Okay. But my point is still this. It still remains. You have no idea what I am. You are assuming that we are the same. You don't even know what language I speak. Hello? You don't know what happened in my day. You don't know whether I'm here for vacation or if I live here. So why the fuck do you expect for me to speak to you? Do you hear how dumb you sound? Not to mention, y'all are grown. And the people that are leaving these comments, talking about the shit inside of videos, etc., you're older than me. Half us in their 30s, late 20s like me. Get over yourself. If you are that insecure, that self-conscious being here in Japan, I feel sorry for you. My heart goes out for you. I can relate to you. But I'm also going to have to be 150% real with you. It's a you problem. It ain't a me problem. Don't call me rude because I don't want to speak to a total stranger. Don't call me rude because I don't want to be your best friend. Just like white people, Mexican people, Asian people, I am entitled to choose not to like you, to choose not to want to befriend you, to decide that I don't feel like speaking. And I'm supposed to keep it real. Okay, I speak to you, and then what happens? You might not even talk back to me. What if you reject me? And I got to deal with the embarrassment of me trying to go out my way and speak to you. What does this head not do to you? Nothing. It's just a mind control game. It's no different than the guys at the gas station that want you to say good morning back, that want you to wave at them, that want you to do whatever. It's a game. It's a mind control thing. So because you spoke to me, now I have to respond back. Or else now I become a bitch. I'm fooling myself. And I feel that way even about my relationship. I'm required to explain to you that I would have dated a black man and I do like black people. I ain't gotta do all that shit to you. Fuck that. I married who I married. Get over yourself. You got a problem with who I'm dating? Make sure that for every black woman that you see dating and married outside of her race, please leave 5 more comments in the comment section of a black man doing the same thing. They are literally the ones that date outside their race more than any other race of men, whereas black women are the polar opposite. I don't care about all that race loyalty, black love bullshit. Get over yourself. I'm happy for you if you found a man no matter what race they are. Go where you're loved, where you're welcome. And also the same thing to my son, to my brother, to my friends, anyone else. I do not care who a black man marries, dates, fucks. It ain't got shit to do with me. Because more than likely, whoever that man is, saying all that BS or whatever, doing crap, trying to insult black women, whatever, to get attention, I don't like, wouldn't have dated you, wouldn't have wanted you anyway. And for the ones that do have some home training, common sense, do respect and love their mothers, sisters, daughters, whatever, and don't say anything, just happen to be married to a white woman, Hispanic woman, whatever, then that's fine by all means. I don't hate people because they just dated or married outside of their race. But oh my God, so I mean, that's a whole other story. But yeah, let's please end all of this bullshit. I get it. You feel excited to see another person looks like you. But if you really want to make black friends, join a forum, join a group. Stop relying on your coworkers even. People do not have to be your best friend. Now, on the flip side of that, I'm not saying that black people should purposely give you a hard time, be rude to you, be mean to you, treat you badly. If you're working together, fine. Yeah, they should, acknowledge you. But you should keep the same standards for them as you have for the white, Hispanic, Japanese, whatever other type of staff. Don't expect people to be your best friend at work just because you both happen to be black. In fact, I said this before on Patreon, but I'm going to keep it real with you. I have found that working with black people has been a lot worse than working with white people. Every time that I've worked with a black person, except for maybe once, every single time that I've done it, I've always found myself dealing with black people where they were more of the issue than the white staff that I was dealing with. And I was like, see, this is exactly why I don't like doing this bullshit with you. I literally started off on the wrong foot on my first day at one of my more recent jobs a couple of years ago. This girl, she's from Jamaica, talked about it on Patreon, and she spoke to me, and I wasn't in my right mind, I wasn't paying attention. She was trying to wave to me because it was my first day, and I kind of blew her off, and she took offense to it. So ever since that day, for the next 6+ months, she decided she was going to pay me no mind, not speak to me, act funky towards me, and I'm like, just because I didn't see you non-verbally waving, she's waving through the door. I'm sharing a classroom with another person. I didn't know she was waving at me or the other person. I'm busy trying to get my classroom together, trying to get, organized, trying to take notes on what to do, how to teach, etc. I'm not expecting to talk to you. You so much of a fucking crybaby. This one encounter made you write me off the list and decide I can't talk to that bitch anymore. What? But you best believe Becky and friends could do whatever they want to her and she'd be licking their ass right afterwards. So look, I treat everybody the same. You nice to me, I'm nice to you. You speak to me, depending on the circumstances, yes, I may or may not speak to you. But let me tell you this right now. If you run into me in Japan, you better tell me you know me from YouTube. Because otherwise, I'm probably not going to talk to you. It is not because I hate you. I don't talk to strangers. I oftentimes find that whenever I am around black people, they're more busy staring at you, looking you up and down, checking you out, judging you. Oh, this bitch got banged. She thinks she's Japanese. She biracial. She married a Japanese man. Funky like that. I'm not taking chances, wasting my time trying to play games, read your mind, etc. I don't do that sort of... Shoot, I'm married to a Japanese man, and I can still acknowledge the fact that most Japanese people aren't quite exactly the most welcoming and loving on public transportation. So what does my black ass do? Honestly, in most circumstances, unless I have a clear seat where I'm going to be by myself and I have space, I would normally choose to stand to avoid dealing with all the embarrassment of the ghost seating and people acting funky, moving away from you, etc. It's my own personal thing. I don't hate Japanese people, love my in-laws, love my husband, but I can acknowledge not everybody acts the way that they do. Not everybody treats me the way that they do. So, I can go on ranting around about this forever. Just to summarize what I'm trying to say, basically, don't expect strangers to be your friends. Don't expect them to speak to you. Just because we have the same color, we all come from Africa, it does not mean I'm obligated to basically play hostess for you, make you feel welcomed, pat you in the back, give you a hug, say what up sis, say what up bro, whatever type thing. And also, this gets even scarier when we're dealing with people of the opposite gender, because now a lot of you might not even realize that I'm married. I literally was walking through, I think it's on some Patreon, maybe I didn't. I was literally walking through Ikebukuro Station. These two African guys saw me, and I was like, I know these niggas gonna talk to me. And sure enough, before they could even get to me, my husband got separated from me through the station. They clearly weren't looking at my finger. But did I say if I wearing a ring at this time? I think I did have a ring. I think it was right before I got my ring engraved. They were walking by, and they, I forgot what they said. Basically, they greeted me. Was like, oh, hello, sister, whatever. It was obvious they were trying to talk to me. I ignored them, walked straight past. I'm not obligated to explain my marital status to you. There's another situation. I've literally just been walking through Roppongi. What happens? No ring on. My ring is getting engraved. Not to mention, I'm not a slave. Well, I do wear my ring every day, all the time when I go outside. I wear it all the time inside my house. I only take it off when I shower, when I'm putting product in my hair, or cleaning something dirty. But anyway, aside from that, I slip my ring on. It stays on my finger. So, yeah, back on subject. I wasn't wearing a ring. And so again, naturally, you might think I'm obligated to respond to you. I have to tell you that I'm married, right? That's none of your damn business. I ain't got to explain to you my relationship status, my marital status. Because what if you're not married and you're just dating? What if you don't have a ring? Why do I owe you this information? My refusal to speak to you is enough. In fact, do yourself a favor. I didn't ask for greeting service. Nobody else did either. Do you talk to every Japanese person that you see? Do you speak to every English speaker that you see? No. So don't do that shit with me. Especially when 9 times out of 10, let's keep it real, black people know very well what country you came from most of the time. Especially when people from Africa. They can almost always tell that I'm an American. They normally think I'm biracial. Please don't play that bullshit with me. I don't have to talk to you. I don't hate you because you're black. I'm not ashamed to be around you because you're black. I love having black friends. It's fun and enjoyable to be able to relate, to make jokes, talk about black issues. I'm 150% with you on that. But at the same time, I also believe in our personal space, freedom, and choice. I do not want to feel like I'm obligated to speak to you because you nodded your head or because you spoke to me, even if you spoke to me. You know what kind of mood I might be having a bad day. I might not even be hearing you, listening, whatever. And then you all get online and cry about how bad and mean and rude the black people here are because they didn't talk to you. And back in Zimbabwe, you guys all... I don't give a shit, sweetheart. I don't care what you all do in Madagascar. I don't care what you do in Jamaica. This is now Japan. I don't even care what Japan does. If this were to be a rule here in Japan, which it's not, it needs to end. Let's stop it. Can also be a dangerous situation too, speaking to complete strangers, etc. And again, a lot of the times people are speaking to you, it's not because they're being friendly. It's simply because they're trying to sell you something or they're trying to date you. And when they're not trying to sell you something or date you, they're trying to force you into a friendship, get information from you. Or let's say the casual situation where they're just nodding their head. Just want you to nod back to acknowledge, hey, we're both black. We look alike. Hey, what up? Okay. Why do you need that? Why? Why? And then ask yourself, do you not realize you need that? Not the other person. Again, it's a you problem. You need counseling. You need to consider going back to your home country. You need to work on making black friends on your own and stop relying on the public to fix and heal that wound for you. It's no one else's problem. People are not rude, disrespectful because they choose not to speak to you. And again, I've changed my stance on this because I used to feel very differently. I used to feel like, you know what? You see a black person, nod your head, tell them what's up, let them know, hey, I see you, you see me, okay? I used to feel that way too. I totally did, full disclosure. But I've changed my stance on that. If a black person chooses to do that, and you want them to do that, okay, cool. But don't get mad, don't get upset, don't get angry, don't huff and puff, don't roll your eyes when another one chooses not to. We are not slaves anymore. We are not forced to be friends with you. We are not forced to work with you. We are not forced to do anything to or for you. And that includes speaking to you. I'm not at work where I'm passing over you and speaking to Japanese people. I'm out in public. And in my situation, I'm with my husband. I'm not thinking about you. I don't want to talk to you. Girl, I'm not even looking at you. I literally went to the currency exchange the other day. I talked about this on Patreon before, and they were saying that, the person might have, recognized me from YouTube. I have no idea. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a bitch, but I'm keeping it real with you. If you do, then please speak up, say something. But I didn't feel that way, and I felt more like it was a looking you up and down thing, like, black girl married to a Japanese man, or dating. Because at the time, I don't even think I had a ring. I think my ring was in the process of getting engraved at that time, so I wasn't even wearing a ring. You're looking for just boyfriend, girlfriend. Even my husband felt weird about it, and so of course, he nodded his head at them. I didn't even teach him that. He knew it on his own. He bowed and just did for them. Okay, I see you looking at me, and he recognized she was doing it because I was there. He figured out on his own. I was like, how do you know this shit? But anyway, back on subject. It's like, see, that type of situation right there. You make people feel uncomfortable. You don't know me. I don't know you. We're not from the same country. Actually, I'm going to keep it 100% honest with you. I'm sorry if you ever watched this video and you did recognize and know me. I was pissed off at you. You holding up the line, your little bag kid running all around the place. It was ghetto. And I was annoyed, and honestly, I kind of felt embarrassed because, of course, it looked like we were all together because we're all black. And then if I was even weirder, it's like, okay, quit looking at my husband. Isn't that your husband right there? Right? Y'all do your little money transfer thing and move on with life. I don't know you. I don't care about you. And I'm sorry. I'm not here to make friends at the fucking currency exchange. I'm trying to get my bills paid in my home country. So, it was just pissing me off. So, it was at Western Union. So, look, again, I get it. But I hope you get it now if I said this to you. Maybe you won't. Because the people that get it. The ones that don't won't. White people don't understand what the fuck is going on. They're like, y'all got these issues? Yes, we do. It is so annoying. And it's crazy because, again, white people don't do this shit to my knowledge. They walk past each other all the time, don't pay each other no mind. They don't care about, they don't even think to ask, is another French person? Are they from the UK like me? They just live their lives, enjoy their vacation, enjoy their going out, doing whatever type thing. And if you so happen to be inside of a scenario where you can talk, or you do feel like, hey, I can relate to this person, hey, I want to get to know that person, then yeah, they'll do it. But it's normally in an appropriate place, like a bar, a club, a place where you're supposed to be interacting, not randomly in public on the train, not randomly walking through a restaurant. It's just like, oh my god, so many weird, strange encounters. Like, I talked about this before on Patreon, like when I went to that pizza restaurant, all the black people around me, it was so obvious they was hating on my ass, especially the black men. Man, if looks could kill. And I think in this situation, I did not have a ring, if I recall. I was married. This is just last month, but again, my ring was in the process of getting engraved. Y'all, if looks could kill, I would have been dead. They were looking me up and down, left and right, stank, I am me, all because of my husband. And so now again, this is what I'm talking about. I see the same people that claim that they just want to have somebody they can relate to, etc. No. You want to fuck me, you want to talk to me, or even for the ones that don't want to be in a relationship with me, you just don't like the idea of seeing me with a Japanese man. But see, you'd have no problem seeing a fellow black man with a Japanese girl. The problem is you want to have black women on a choke leash and you want to control who they date. You want us to only be able to get with you. And you don't like when you see black women that are capable of dating outside of their race. Not to mention, let's also keep it real. The reason why black men want to date me is because I fit the aesthetic of being a biracial girl. I can pass for being half Japanese. I can pass for being half white. I have natural hair. I have long hair. I have loose curls. I have light skin. I have these things that black men want in a woman. That's the reason why. Because now if you put dark skin on me, they wouldn't pay me no mind. They still have a problem with me dating outside my race, but they wouldn't care nearly as much. So, not even finna get into all the crap with you, because again, look, these comments actually found black women bitching about this. But that's when, like I said, like, I just think it's so stupid. I get what you're saying, again, but please understand, not everybody's from your country. And even for those of us that are from your country, we're in a new country now, new rules, new whatever. And even if this stuff is going outside your country and you used to do things like that back then for these new people that you're talking about, maybe they changed their mind about it and they realized, hey, it's actually kind of toxic. Because, for example, I changed my mind. I'm an American. And we do normally nod at each other when we see each other, but it's not really required either. Not so much, let's keep it real. When we're in a place where there's all black people, we don't ever nod at each other. So why do we have this dumb rule where when we go somewhere where there's hardly any of us, we're supposed to acknowledge each other? Again, there's a difference between going out of your way to ignore, avoid in a social or work environment. I can understand that. But even then, just because you both are black and you work together does not mean you're required to be friends with each other. Please understand that. Likewise, just because we're both black and on vacation in Osaka does not mean we're required to become the best of friends or even to say hi to each other or nod heads at each other, etc. Nobody owes you anything. Stop trying to control people. You're an adult. It's creepy, it's weird, it's controlling, and honestly, you're no different than the gas station niggas that be irritating the fuck out of girls. Yes, I could easily just say good morning back. Yes, I can say thank you for your compliment of how fat my ass is. But is it necessary? Is it genuine? No, you're being a creep, you're making me uncomfortable, it's weird. I've been having men do this since I was a kid. I thought that it was cute back then. Now I'm kind of grossed out by it. But then I look back and it's like, well, how would they know how old I am? Look like I was grown back then. So, people literally make problems for themselves here. If you want black people to speak to you, make some black friends. Don't expect strangers to fill that void for you. Again, I used to feel differently. I used to relate to you. I've been there. I've done that. But again, you don't know why people are here. You don't know whether we're living here, whether we're tourists here. You don't know if they're married or not married. You don't know if they're having a good day or a bad day. You don't know what language they speak. You don't know what race they are. They might look 100% black and not even be half. Please, stop. It's silly. So go ahead, fight me inside the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? How do you feel about this? Did I change your mind on this? Did I make you reinforce that you feel strongly that no, we should always speak when we see the black person, that we should at least nod our head? And again, I get it, fine. The nodding the head part is easy to do, but why do I have to do that? Why are you controlling my actions, my behavior around you? I don't even nod when I see regular people on a day-to-day basis, like Japanese people, other Americans, etc. So why do you get a special pass? Just because we have the same color? We come from the same place? You didn't come from my mama's coochie? We not... Shoot, I don't even talk to my brother. I just talk to my brother. I don't talk to my sisters. Why I gotta talk to you? Why I gotta nod my head at you? Why? What does this do for you? What's wrong with you? Where somebody nodding their head is gonna make a life-changing, whatever thing for you for your day. I mean, these girls are literally crying online. About, oh, nobody speaks to me. It's just so rude, and I feel so alone. And again, I feel sorry for you in that sense. But it's like, take a step back and realize how ridiculous you sound. You act like your life is over, the world is ending, because a total stranger would nod their head at you, and you wanted them to do it just because you guys have the same complexion. Or not even the same complexion, you're the same race. Okay. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's argue. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, leave a comment down below. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's $5 for a month per month. I share videos talking about my personal life here in Japan there. Upload new videos every single month on Patreon. So if you want to get to know me, be nosy, see what's going on behind the scenes, especially during like my hiatuses, etc., please consider subscribing and supporting me there on Patreon. Remember, it is to support me. So do not sign up unless you can afford to pay $5 per month. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. You can also check out my YouTube channel's homepage and make videos on living, working, studying, dating here in Japan. There's more rants there as well. You can find all of those playlists on my YouTube channel's homepage. And that's all for this video. So thank you so much for listening. The links for everything, my social media, are down in the description and at the end of this video. And yeah,